Hi. So around 1 month ago, I've got a question from one of our viewers asking if the Vampire Survivor series that we have can be modified to use the new input system instead. Very happy to say that this is very possible, and it's a very complex game, but the good thing about the game is that the controls are very simple. So to migrate it over to the new input system is actually really simple as well. And in this video I'm going to show you how you can do that. Alright, so to start, what you want to do is just to go into Edit, Project Settings. And from here, what you want to do is head over to Player. And under Other Settings, right, you will find an option called Active Input Handling. This should be available, right, as long as you are on Unity 2022 and above. But I recommend you just go straight into Unity 6, alright? So what you want to do is find Active Input Handling. It's right here. Set it to a new input system package, which is the new one. Click on apply, and then your project will reopen. Alright, so my project is reloaded now. And if you are on Unity 2022 and before, right, or say if the input system is not working for whatever reason, then you will want to head into the package manager under Window, Package Management, and Package Manager. If you're on an earlier version, the package manager should be somewhere up here instead. Okay, once you have the package manager, you want to go and find the Unity registry and then search for the input system, right, and install that. So whether you need to install this depends on whether you are downloading one of our project files. If you are, you will need to do this. Or if you've started a project from scratch in Unity 6, right, you shouldn't need to do the installation here. So once the package is installed, you should find it in your In Project tab, and right here. So what's next is that you will have to head on into your player movement script and make a few modifications to it. I'll explain to you what the modifications are. So we want to preserve the old input system, but we also want to give ourselves an option to select either one or the other. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually to head over and add a new enum called control type, and it'll say old input manager and new input system. And then I'll declare a control type like that. The point of this, right, I'm gonna make this the default. So the default is just gonna use the old input manager. So this is to make it so that the player movement here has two options. So we can choose the control type to be the old system or the new one. And this is really important because when you are testing, you may want to toggle between both modes, you see. So the old system, right, is run using the input management function, which I will just retain the functionality of. So here, I'll make it so that if in the inspector, right, you choose to use the old input manager, then the input management function will still run. Otherwise, you will add a new function. This function is called onMove. And this is meant for us to later bind some actions to it. Right, so the onMove function. So over here, right, we want to use an onMove function. This is a callback that will be fired by the new input system when the player presses the correct keys. And because our input system modifies the move direction, right? So what we want to do here is to retrieve the player's input using move direction. And then notice also that whenever the user input is updated, right, there is a whole bunch of code that updates the three variables: last horizontal vector, last vertical vector, and then the last move vector. So I'm gonna want to grab these lines of code here, and what I'm gonna do is to put them into a separate function. This is because both the old input system and the new input system use the same logic here. So I'm just gonna copy and paste this here. I'll put this inside a update last move vector function, so that in the input management function here, right, I can just call update last move vector. Why did I just do this? Because on move, right, will do the same thing. So I don't want to repeat my code multiple times. So that's why I'm grouping everything into a function. Then now the new system and the old system both will use the same logic. It updates the move direction. In the new input system, it just retrieves from the input that's been given to it. In the old one, it manually retrieves, and then after that, it just packs the values into the move direction as well. So as far as I'm concerned, they are doing the same thing. All right, and so that's all of the scripting changes you need to make. Once you're done, you will need to head into your project and If you have started the project in Unity 6, right, you will notice that there is actually a default global input actions object here. If not, if you don't have any input action objects, you will have to create the input action object. So create new input actions, and then you can call this controls. You can call it anything you want. And then double click on the asset. This will open up the input actions editor. This is like the modern version of the old input manager. Remember, if you are an old school Unity guy, you will see this is the old school input manager system. Alright, this is the input actions asset. This is basically the new version of the old input manager. Right, what we want to do is add an action map. So now in the new input system, we're able to assign different control schemes to different objects. So there is no one universal control scheme for everyone anymore. So this is supposed to introduce flexibility for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this new action map here. This new action map here, I'm going to call this player, just in case in the future, let's say you want to have separate control scheme for UI and for other things, right? Then we can add different action maps to it. So new action over here, I'm going to call this new action move, and this will matter later on. So action type value, and then now we can add a up, down, left, right composite here. It's 2D vector. So now I can assign like different keys. So up, down. So this is us basically mapping the keyboard controls that we have in the old system over to the new one. The good thing about using a new input system is that it's actually, once you get the hang of it, it's actually much more flexible than the old one. Because what we have here, right, is that we can actually have a 2D vector with WASD, right? And then we can add one more up, down, left, right composite, and this can be, because our keyboard responds also to our arrow keys, right? So we can also map the arrow key up arrow and the location of the key down arrow. So you can actually map, for example, the WASD, and you can map up, down, left, right, and then this will allow you to have different, like, you know, these controls will work with WASD and the up, down, left, right arrows, alright? And if you want to add joystick support as well, so that you fully emulate the old system, right, you can also add a new binding like this, and then just add a joystick, just put a gamepad, and then the gamepad you just want to do a left stick like this. So the left stick of the gamepad also allows you to move the character, and if you want to do more, it depends on what you want, how compatible you want the game to be. You can also add a D-pad as well. So then in your controller, both the left stick and the D-pad work to move your character. There's one more binding that I like as well. Like if you have a joystick, there are controls where it's just a joystick. If you want to work with that as well, you can also add those in. So you can look at all these different devices and you can see what are the devices you want to support. You can even go as far as to do perhaps a pointer. Actually you can't, because that requires more code, right? So here we have covered everything that we can realistically imagine to control the character, right? So if once you select all of these as ways to control your character's movement, we can save the asset, and then we can now head over to our player script. The new input system here, we will have to use this component called the player input, assign the controls here, and then default map here is player because that's the only one we have, and then just leave it on send messages. You should be able to move your character around. It's pretty simple setup. So I'm using the WASD keys right now, and I also can use the arrow keys. Let me just hook a PlayStation controller onto my device as well. Not the best for focus, but I've hooked up a PlayStation controller, and you can see that when I'm moving the joystick here as well, this actually affects the character's movement. And that's really all. In future parts of the tutorial series, right, we actually add support with one of our assets called the virtual joystick, and there are a couple of changes here and there. So what you want to do is just that now, because you have two control modes, right, you have to make sure that you update both the input management as well as the on move function over here, right? So if you have any questions, our forums are always available to help you. That's all. It's a really short video. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys around.